Hi guys, so we're doing a bunch of review this week and next week. We'll talk about it whenever I get back. But we've already seen everything we're going to be doing for the next 2 weeks. So we've already seen standard form and we've already seen slope-intercept form. So we're going to go over this one more time. So for standard form, you have ax plus by equals c. And these a, b, and c are numbers. These are also called coefficients. Okay, so you can easily find the x and y intercepts in this format. You do that by plugging in zeros, or you can rearrange for slope-intercept form. We're going to mainly be doing rearranging for slope-intercept form. We have to remember that the m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. This has an extra s there. Whenever we're doing linear equations, there's typically going to be just one y-intercept unless we have a vertical line through 0 on the x-axis. So now we're going to determine, for example 1, the slope, the m, is 4. A lot of you guys try to include this x right here. It's just the 4. The x helps me to identify which one is my slope. The b, the y-intercept, is -10. You include the sign there. Because this is a y-intercept, because this is a point on the graph, I can say it has a coordinate, which is 0, -10. The x value here is always 0. The y-intercept, let's look up here. I'm going to put 0, comma, y value, or 0, comma, b. That is your coordinate. That's where you start. Okay, on example 2, we're rearranging the following equation and determining the slope and the y-intercept. So I'm going to zoom in over here. I'm going to draw my line through my equal sign because you guys really like that. And I'm going to isolate my y because I want to get it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going for y equals mx plus b. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my x on the left side. I'm doing that first and not dividing by 2. Because the x is the 2 is multiplied by the y. Because it is multiplied, I cannot do anything with it until I move whatever is added or subtracted first. So I have to get rid of this first. Then we drop down our 2y equals, I'm going to circle this right here. You cannot combine these terms. So many of you tried to do this on the test. 4 minus 6x is not -2x. You cannot combine these terms. It is 4 minus 6x. Now that my equation has the y on one side and everything else on the other side, now I divide by whatever is attached to the y. It could be 2. It could be a negative. It could be anything. Anything that's in front of that, anything that's attached to that. I want that y to have a 1 attached to it. So 2 over 2 is 1. And then we get y. Technically it's 1y, but I can just write y. Then I'm going to divide 4 by 2 and get 2. Then I'm going to put my subtraction sign down. And then we're going to do 6 divided by 2 is 3 and leave our x attached to it. Then identify that my slope, my m, is whatever's attached to the x. And we have a negative there, so it is -3 because it's being subtracted. And then my b, my y-intercept, is my whole number, which is 2, or my number that doesn't have a variable, my constant value, that's a better way to say that. And then I'm going to say it's a coordinate because it is 0, comma, b. So it is 0, comma, 2. So now we're going to do 2 examples of graphing. Everything else that I do not finish is homework. You can work together on this in class. I'm okay with that. Keep the volume low because I'm not there and you need to be on your best behavior. So I'm doing 3 and 4. And let's see here. We have y equals 3x plus 2. My m, my slope, is 3. My b, my y-intercept, is 2. And I'm going to put this as a coordinate pair as 0, 2. And that's where we start. B comes first in the alphabet. I always start with B. So I'm going to go to 0, 2. There's my B. Now I'm going to use from my B, I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And to the right, 1. Okay, so it is 3 over 1. I go up and right. That's positive and positive. A positive over a positive is a positive. So we have our positive slope. I want you guys to do as many points as you can on these graphs. That's what everybody did yesterday. If I were there today, you guys would be going to the board just like they did. And then connect your points. Okay, and because these are just one equation on the graph, I'm only requiring you to have the label above the graph, kind of like where mine is. Whenever you have more than one equation on a graph, you have to label each line and make it very clear which line is which. But because these just have one, I'm okay with this for today. Okay, on the second graph, this is number 4. You can see the arrows down here telling me which graph goes where. So I'm going to write up here y equals 1/2 x minus 4. I'm going to put my m is 1/2 and my b, so my y-intercept is -4. And then my coordinate pair for that is 0, -4. I'm going to go down to 4 on the y-axis. This is 0, -4. Then I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 2. Didn't put my dot there. Then up 1 and to the right 2. Again, I want you to fill these graphs. I want you to get into the habit of filling the graph all the way. Because on your test, a lot of people did not fill their graph entirely. They just put a little line that went from like here to here. Your lines keep going unless you know that it is a segment. And in this case, these are all going to be lines. And I know this isn't super straight. You guys have rulers in the classroom. They are in an orange bucket thing. When you get done, make sure the sub sprays them down in the bucket. You do not need the expo markers today. We will deal with that. We will do that whenever I get back on Thursday. All right, so you need to finish all of this assignment. So you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm okay if you work on those in groups. And then you guys have a sheet that is attached to this one, which, by the way, I did change the name of this to be Graphing Drills Examples. I believe this says something like Slope Intercept Form Drills because I was going to do 2 different days and changed my mind. So here are your examples. On the next page, it is very similar to this. You may have to do some more manipulations on certain equations. If you have questions, send me an email.